Weather forecast.
Good morning, and on that note, let's talk about climate since we're saying goodbye to July and hello to August. Climate is what we expect and weather is what we get. So typically as we kick off the month of August, our mornings start around 76 degrees here in Corpus Christi and we top out around 95 degrees. That's not going to happen. We are going to stay above average temperature wise, but a little glimmer of hope looking ahead. This is usually where we start to see a turning point in our forecast. We start to see that afternoon high come down a little bit toward the end of the month, and that's in part due to the fact that we expect a little more rain. 2 3/4 inches of rainfall. We lose a little bit of daylight, 43 minutes, but we start to get over that hump of the heat here in Corpus Christi. But some other things to consider is that our hottest week of the year usually spans between August 5th and 15th with an average high temperature of 96 degrees. Again, let's hope we can get there next week. I think we're going to stay a bit above that. But some other key points, we start to see a decrease in the Saharan dust, which is nice because with less dust, we can get a little more rain in the forecast usually. And for those of us suffering from respiratory issues, that helps a lot. So with increasing rainfall, that could be a sign that we can kind of dig out of our drought. Last August was very generous here in Corpus Christi and did just that. The one bad part about moving on into August, we're getting closer to the peak of hurricane season, which is September 10th. So we start to see an increase in activity in the tropics. So we get a tropical update here coming up in a few. But conditions as we start this morning out, pretty quiet out there, not much for wind and just a few clouds out there, but it is muggy and it is warm. Temperatures hanging out for the most part in the upper 70s, even a few lower 80s for our coastal communities where we're feeling the most humid for the start of our Monday. So you might imagine we already have heat alerts on deck for many counties here in the coastal bend. That begins at noon and goes until 7 o'clock tonight. So the counties you see here in orange are under a heat advisory. That means our feels like temperature or heat index will stay between 110 and 114 for a prolonged period this afternoon. That's 2 hours or longer, and we may see some spikes above that for a few communities, but generally we're going to keep between 110 and 114. That's still dangerous for your health. You need to go and take breaks indoors during the heart of the afternoon here. For Corpus Christi, it looks like that time frame is going to happen, say between about 1 and 5 p.m., 110 by 1 p.m., 116 possible. The feel like temperature by around 3 p.m., and we don't see much relief during the overnight. So again, make sure you're taking those breaks indoors. Our culprit is several thousand feet above us in the upper atmosphere. High pressure that bakes on down. It's going to be centered right over the coastal bend. So this high pressure heat dome, as we call it, locks in humidity, keeps dry and sunny conditions in the forecast, and sweltering heat on deck for us. So it's going to be a hot one all week long with near record high temperatures. Let's talk about the tropics now. Things haven't been too active out there. We're watching 2 areas of interest, one having a better chance than the other of developing. Good news here, the Bermuda high pressure system out here likely to keep that curving away from the United States, but we may have our next named storm this week, and that would be Emily. You may not have known about Dawn. That one might have passed you by. That was our first hurricane of the season. Kind of hung out in the same spot, the northern Atlantic, and did a little swirly dance before fizzling out. Didn't impact any land masses, so that was nice at least. But here in the coastal bend, tropical trouble not a worry of ours right now. We're just dealing with this oppressive heat, so please stay cool out there this week.